folks. So I stopped on the side of the road here. I just wanted to show you something. This is an old farmhouse tucked back in the brush. I've thought a lot about these abandoned houses because there are so many of them out here in the country where we live. I should have brought the windshield. It's so windy out here, I didn't realize. Like, what happens that a beautiful house like this is just totally abandoned? This is about probably 15 acres. There's a beautiful creek running through. All of it is level enough to use for pasture, but no one is even grazing cattle on this property. That house is no older than our house. That house could have a family living in it. If the roof and the foundation were kept in shape, this place could be amazing. I wanted to talk about this for two reasons today. The first reason is that abandoned farms like this are a sign of our changing culture, the changing economy. That we've talked about this a lot, but just leaving the country, leaving farming. The other reason I want to talk about it though is a more positive note, and it's this. You could get this place. I bet you money. You could get this place at least on a 20-year lease at a really good price. You could grow food for 10 or 20 years, or you could arrange to do an owner finance. There are dozens of places like this. I'm hoping to show off just a few of them to you today. It's so beautiful. There's an old shed, there's an old barn down here. Anyway, let's move on. So here I am. I drove up the road just like a quarter mile, and I'm looking at this old farmland. You know, there's some erosion over here. I love these cows though. They're beautiful, beautiful animals. I came up, we checked out their calves earlier this year. The difference between this land, which this is muddy, this is just, they heavily traffic this area, but overall this land is really nicely kept. The only difference between this land and that old abandoned farm back there is 2 strands of electric barbed wire and someone who cares about the land. I love those cows. More cows, and look over here, wild turkeys. Have you ever seen that many wild turkeys before? I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's at least 35 to 40 wild turkeys. Look at this, I love this. Here's an old apple tree. You can see the apples on it. And then there's apple trees here, and an apple tree down here. When you look at the population in the US Census Bureau of the rural counties in the western end of North Carolina, most of the rural counties have had a flat or decreasing population since the 60s and 70s. Whereas counties that have significant urban centers, their population has exploded. So what does that mean? One thing it means is that people's kids are not staying in the rural communities. They're leaving, they're moving to cities. And you know, there's reasons for this. There's just not as many economic opportunities out here. There's just not the same economic activity to produce the jobs that people want for the lifestyles they want to live. While some of these shifts are kind of sad, there's also huge opportunities. There's tons of land available. I love what Joel Salatin says about this. He says, don't let not having land stop you from farming. There is land available. There are older farmers who can't keep up with their properties. There are families that just have abandoned properties that no one really wants to live on. The place we bought had been empty for years. Everyone in the family had their own house. This was the old family house, so all the kids already had their own houses, and no one wanted to live there, so it was just empty. Fortunately, with our place was taken care of, but many of these properties end up neglected, and when the roof goes bad on a house, the house goes, the house rots, and that's what has happened in many of these places. This nice place, I love this. I don't know if you feel this way, but I'll tell you what, every time I come home, I am so thankful to be home. It's such a nice feeling. And after driving around looking at all those old farms that are run down and then coming back here, I just feel like we have a treasure here. It was so well kept for those years when it was empty, and all the buildings are so well built. I just feel like this is a treasure. Up. Get back in here. Lovey. I broke the rule of leaving the other door open, or leaving the other door closed. Get back in there. Let's go. It's not feeding time. Here we go. You want to go? There you go. They sure have a lot of personality. Whether or not we take advantage of one of these old abandoned farms, at least we were born in time to see the remnants of what, I don't know, the great 20th century American farm age. All these little farmsteads and houses, you know, a lot of these old farmhouses will be gone. And who knows what'll happen as far as, you know, the shape of this country. I like to think there'll be a revival in the agricultural world, moving back to small farms. But who knows what shape agriculture will take, you know, in the next 50 years, next 100 years. It is getting cold out here. Really cold. It's warm this morning. Well, that's it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed joining us as we peeked around at these old abandoned farms. Y'all have a great day.